After a long wait, Replaced is finally here, and I couldn't be more excited. This game is completely up my alley when it comes to its setting, and I love the pixel graphics mixed with the 3D setting. Luckily, I did get a copy to review for Steam Deck HQ. However, the key came in extremely late, so I'm not able to post a full review just yet. It'll be coming in the next few days. However, with this full final build of the game, I did want to show off how it's running on the Steam Deck so far. Now, before we go into the details, if you want to see more videos like this, hit that like and subscribe button, and hit the notification bell to be notified as soon as our next video goes live. A copy of the game was provided by Thunderful for review. Thank you. So because we got the key very late, I have not played enough of the game to make a definitive judgment on whether it's going to be fully playable on the Steam Deck. However, there are a few things we can infer from the opening hours of the game, and that's what I want to talk about right now. So for the most part, the game will run at 60 FPS in almost every single setting that I could find. But there are some areas in the prologue where when we get to open lands, it drops down to 40. It seems that the game is being throttled in these areas, so it brings down the entire frame rate. So I'm under the impression that the game itself is going to have trouble in those bigger areas. However, in those smaller closed off areas, we should be able to hit 60 FPS pretty easily. However, in some of these, going at 60 is going to have a pretty high battery drain that could go up to 24 watts. For games like this, it's a little bit unnerving to see it draining so much when it's pixelated graphics, but I do know that there are some 3D environments in the game, and because of that, it could be a little bit harder to run. However, there isn't much that we can actually do to improve the frame rate. Looking at the graphics options, there are no settings we can change other than resolution and FPS limit and VSync, so we're not going to be able to change too much when it comes to the quality of the game. The only way we might be able to improve it is by lowering the resolution, which might help, and we will be testing that. However, it's not something I generally like doing. There are some minor drops and higher battery drain when I do load into new areas that might be a little bit bigger and when fighting some enemies. However, it did not stay that way and went back to 60 FPS that was pretty stable as I was running around. Still, from what I'm playing so far, I have confidence that the game is going to be pretty great to play on the Steam Deck throughout, even if we have to set it to a 40 FPS limit. So here is some straight gameplay so you can see how the game is running in direct capture and handheld. So based on what I played so far, I can say that it's probably going to be pretty good to play on the Steam Deck, and it deserves that green check mark. I do wish it could be a fully stable 60 FPS throughout the entire game, but just those little bits here and there where it does drop or throttles to 40 don't happen nearly enough in the opening hours, where I think it's going to be an issue. Of course, this is going to be something I cover in our full review, which is going to be out in the next few days. However, since we didn't have enough time after we got the key to actually confidently play it all the way through, I didn't want to rush a review. But if you're looking on my thoughts on whether this game will be good to play on the Steam Deck, my gut is going to say yes. Thank you guys for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like and subscribe button, and hit the notification bell to be notified as soon as our next video goes live. And a huge thank you to our patrons. You guys are awesome. See you next time.